And so we flew to Chicago for this.
Dude, that was classic. She's a godmother of whatever. I love you, bro. You crack me up. Yeah. Peace.
Yep.
Well, I hope you had a good time. Sounds like you did.
I did. Hold on. I can't get my video to work on my restream. Hold on a second. What's happening? One sec. What are you guys doing? What you guys doing today?
You know, wait.
You have to take this. Hey, bro.
Hey.
Hi.
What's up?
Good, and you?
We're doing whatever she wants.
Well,
whatever mommy wants. That's it.
It's my daughter's birthday today too, so we're double celebrating. Cool. Yes.
We're gonna go hot air balloon riding.
Yeah, hot air balloon.
Do you see that in the background? The hot air balloon?
Yeah, I see it.
Cool. Yeah. You like that one or my eagle? My eagle eyes.
They're both cool. All right, let me hold on. Sorry, I'm just trying to get.
Sharp.
Thank you. I can't get this video to work on my other streams, so it's just a black screen.
Happy Mother's Day, Claudia.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
She didn't hear the YouTube.
Happy Mother's Day to you too. Thank you.
It's Lyra. I'm on my iPhone today.
All right. We are going to get started. I don't have, whenever I'm on my Zooms on my laptop, I don't really know how to use all this. But whatever. Whoever's missing out on the Zoom, I guess it will just be that. But yeah, I wanted to make sure that we do it today because it is on Mother's Day, and every time there's a special celebration like this on any days, it's I love to have an ACIM call because it allows us to look at something just a little bit differently and see if we can go about our day, changing our perspectives a little bit because it's already a special day, right? So some of the things. Just for the lessons of A Course in Miracles is really, we're always practicing forgiveness. We're always looking beyond illusions. I mean, it's beyond the world that we see, and then extending love and kindness, and then practicing gratitude. These are some of the core teachings really underneath everything that the Course says. So as far as like recognition today, and when we say recognition, like to recognize something implies that you already knew already. So the truth is within all of us. So to recognize something, you must have already known. And, today, especially on Mother's Day, we can take a look at, our mothers beyond the role of mother, right? When I see my mom, I see all the motherly things that she has done for me, and I see her as a mom. Like there's a role, there's a character of my mom in my mind, but to see beyond it and to recognize that she is also a spirit, a being that is on her own journey and has her own purpose and her own path, to recognize that she is a sister as well, on the same journey with us. So to be able to view our parents and to see your mothers as beyond just a mother of a character in our mind, and that actually releases them, right? So we can think about that, and the recognition goes beyond just our moms to other people, right? Like everybody has a specific role that we have of them in our minds already. And they fill and play the specific role, which means when I pick up my phone to call and have a conversation, I kind of play out the conversation already. So this entire thing allows us to forgive the past. And when we release the past, we actually release the future. And we can see this moment as this moment, and being able to see that is an opportunity today to learn. And then as far as forgiveness goes, forgiveness really is the recognition that somebody did not do to me what I thought they did, right? It's because of our own stories, our own, experiences, our own perspectives of what's going on, what we think is painful, what we think equates to hurt and attack on us. We can do forgiveness work around all of that, which means we today, looking at our mothers, can we let go of any hurts and grievances that we felt once upon a time with our mothers, right? And to see and to know that they're doing the best that they can. Okay, so as people are joining now, I might just repeat a little bit what I just said. So bear with me here. Welcome, Eric. Welcome, Jessica. We just went over today, special day on Mother's Day, what we can recognize, right? So that we know that our seeing our moms, one is to see our moms as beyond the role of mom that they play in our mind, like that they have a journey and a purpose and an individual journey that they are on as well. And it's not just to fulfill their role as moms to us, right? And then the second thing is to practice the forgiveness, to release the past so that we may release the future. That means today we have an opportunity to honor our moms by releasing any past traumas and past grievances and pains that we might have given and assigned blame to. Because we assign blame to our moms. Like, this is why I am the way I am. I think about money this way because this is how you've always acted with money, right? So we take on all those attack thoughts, and today we can take a minute and a moment just to let go of any of those things and release our moms from the pains and the troubles that we thought they gave to us. And then we can also extend love and kindness, right? Love and kindness today is not just for our own mothers, but to all mothers in our lives. There are people that played motherly roles in my life. That's not just my mom, right? So I wanted to also honor one of my second moms. She is Lynn Harrow. She is my best friend's mom. When we were growing up, she took care of all of us. And so wanted to honor her too. And there are many other people that played a motherly role in my life. So I want to extend that to all of them as well. And then to give you guys, it's just a reminder that, it's not just our moms, that there are other people that play that role, whether it be your aunt, grandmother, whoever, that have played that motherly role. So even mentors, so extending that love and kindness today. And then to see beyond illusions is another one of the course's teachings, that if we can look beyond what we are seeing and hearing with our physical eyes and sense with our physical senses, that we may see a world that is beyond this world. And that is where we find peace. That's where we find our inner peace and our happiness, is when we're able to see beyond this world. And, today we can look beyond the surface level relationship that we have with our moms, and deepening and recognizing that there's something more spiritual that's connecting you and your mother, that there is a teaching that is available here, that something deeper is actually existing between you guys. And then to practice gratitude. And I mentioned this a lot, like practicing gratitude means that we give more attention and awareness to the things and we give more value to the things in our lives. And as we give that, it becomes more real for us, and we live into the moment of more gratitude. And if we can be just so grateful in this moment of everything that has led to this moment, we literally are clearing and forgiving our past, because we start to shift our perceptions. We have a miracle moment about our past experiences, because they have all led me to this moment in which I am extremely and eternally grateful for. So today we can bless and appreciate for all the mothers that have, and all the mothers that has came in the past and provided a world in which we live in today. So those are some of the key topics I wanted to start this call off with today. And that's something that I had kind of thought about and prepared for us this morning. And then I also did something really, really cool, which was I went on to, before I go there, anybody want to share anything today? Express gratitude to anything today? Feel free to jump in and start our conversation. Usually when people are more engaged and share on this call, it leads to a more powerful call.
No. Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Alex. How are you?
Hey.
So,
good to see you.
Nice to see you too. I wanted to share that this is a very special day to me, because even though it's just like another day, it's a Hallmark holiday, what have you. For me, because my mother crossed over like 2002. So however many years ago that's been.
21
years.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a very special day for me to turn the energy around and bring in more gratitude and more love, because we're celebrating Eric's mom today and also celebrating my mom. And I just feel like for me, I would typically be isolated and just feeling like I couldn't do anything, kind of shut down. And this is the first one in a very long time.
Nice.
That I've been able to look at it in a different way. So I just wanted to say, like, for anybody that is on here that has also dealt with your mother crossing over, like, it only becomes your greatest gift and gives you so much strength and so much gratitude, because you carry it inside of you and you bring that with you everywhere you go. So.
Yeah. Awesome. And what you're doing is you're holding on to the love and all the different things, the teachings of you and your mom, that it even existed at one point, right? So like holding on, and we can think about other things that we can hold on to. And the Course actually says Marianne Williamson actually said this, we got to hold on to love and hold on to a vision, the Christ consciousness of our brothers and sisters, right? I can hold on to my wife's dreams without her even realizing what that is. I can hold on to a great Christ spirit version of her. Like I hold on to it until she steps into it, and we hold that. And that's the holding of space for others to step forward into the greatest potentiality that they can be. And we can do that. We're holding on to a space for a very, loving, special day for Eric and his mom. And, you're holding that space, which is beautiful. And that you get to have healing moments today. Like you're honoring yourself as you're honoring your mom and Eric's mom, that it all comes down to one, that there is a honoring of all moms. And
Absolutely.
you are now holding that vision. And it's, and if we can hold it, this is why we say it's always a reminder, because we just forget sometimes. We know that our moms are going through their own journey too, that they're not just my mom. Like my mom isn't just my mom. My mom is a spiritual being also on this journey with her own purpose and her own function. And that I don't see her only as that, because on some level that means we hold her like captive to a limited version of herself, right? That her role is just my mom. And so I constantly, you know, on today, I'm just thinking about that. Like, she's also a sister. She's also a daughter. She's also a, you know, an aunt, you know, a grandmother. So there's so many roles that she plays in that. And in my mind, it's just like my mom, right? And so releasing of that is also a beautiful thing today. Awesome.
Blessings, brother.
Yeah, thank you both. Antoine, go ahead.
Good morning. Just
Good
want to say happy Mother's Day for all of the moms on the call. Alex, as I was listening to you, I was feeling really fortunate to be on the call today because of your fresh perspectives. The word paradigm came to my mind in terms of we are accumulation of all our experiences, especially the ones that our moms have passed down to us. And as you were talking about forgiveness, I was thinking about, I guess I have bad paradigms and I have good ones that I've accumulated. And I was getting to that moment of identifying what could be the bad paradigms I need to release today. And then as well as what are the good paradigms I need to be aware of today. So you open up that space in my mind as you introduced the call. And then the question was, so where's the miracle in this experience that I'm having right now? Based on the, if you could share, what should I attribute or recognize that this is a miracle happening right now as I'm trying to identify these paradigms and going forward?
Yeah. So there is a love. Let's call God's intelligence love. Okay. There is a intelligence that you tap into. That love itself, when you see it, you have a miracle in your mind, because you're now shifting your paradigm to, it's not me making the judgment of what's good and what's bad. There is a gratitude for all of it. And that, you know, the good helps me become more grateful, then I will use it. The bad brings me into a different space, I will release it. You know, so releasing those things, you release it back to the infinite intelligence that operates. And you're saying, you know, I once thought it was a bad thing, but I don't know if it is. Like, in this moment, if you can be so grateful of your life now, of who you are, of even being alive and being able to be on this call, and even having the possibility of shifting your paradigm, right? Like, just having that gratitude, you can say, you know, I attribute it to whoever I thought I had a bad experience or paradigm with, right? So the miracle is that it's happening, and that you are having miracle moments means you're tapping into an energy that allows you to shift and become aware of fear thoughts shifting into loving thoughts. Right. So on one level, the Course says the miracle is that shift that's happening. On the other, it's the miracle is actually the love that allows it to even exist, that you can even recognize that there is this frequency, this infinite intelligence that you can tap into, that all of us are naturally tapped into. And you can be grateful that this moment I'm remembering who it is that I am. And as I remember who I am, I will remember who my mom is. I will remember who my wife is. I remember who all the mothers are. That they're not just mothers, that they are human beings on a journey with purposes as well. You know, that I may release them of the character that I had of them in my mind, that of the assigned roles that I had of them. And now I open up new possibilities with, you know, inside these relationships. So yeah, the miracles, and you, Antoine, like having the awareness. And I'm gonna read something right here that, you know, I love ChatGPT, by the way. I just recently started really using it. I paid for the version, and I had ChatGPT write me a Zen story that relates to A Course in Miracles. And it killed it. So I think this relates to exactly what you're actually asking. So I'm going to read it real quick, and I'm going to open it up for anybody to, you know, just give feedback, thoughts. What are you hearing about on this? So here it goes. As all Zen story starts, once upon a time, there was a young man who was struggling with his life. He was lost and didn't know what to do. he had heard about A Course in Miracles and decided to give it a try. He attended the course diligently and learned about the power of forgiveness, gratitude, and love. However, he struggled to apply these principles to his life. He would often get frustrated and angry at himself for not being able to change his thoughts and behavior. One day, he decided to seek the guidance of a Zen master. He went to the master and poured out his heart. The master listened patiently and then asked him to follow him to the riverbank. As they sat by the river, the master asked the young man to pick up a stone and throw it into the river. The young man did as he was told. The master then asked him to pick up another stone and throw it into the river, but this time he asked him to follow the stone with his eyes until he couldn't see it anymore. The young man did as he was told and followed the stone with his eyes until it disappeared into the river. The master then said, "Just like the stone, your thoughts and emotions are like the ripples in the water. They come and go, but the river remains the same. It is the same with your mind. Your thoughts and emotions come and go, but your essence remains the same. You are not your thoughts and emotions. You are the observer of them." The young man then realized the truth in the master's words, and from then on, he was able to apply the principles of A Course in Miracles in his life with ease. He understood that he was not his thoughts and emotions, but the observer of them, and this gave him a sense of peace and freedom. ChatGPT, like, is it serious? How I can't believe it just took a Course in Miracles and put it into a Zen story. Like, that's amazing. I can't believe it did that. But the story really is the truth is that we experience all of these things in life. We have ups and downs. We get emotional. Whether it's a loss of something material, or a loss of a relationship, or someone in our lives, or our dogs, whatever. We experience those emotions, but we are not those things. See, what ends up happening, for example, okay, my wife, she's right here, but I'm going to tell the story anyways. So she booked a flight to Chicago, and multiple times she's kind of done this year, but she's done a lot more right than wrong. She booked a flight the day before. So you know how, like, when you book red eyes, it's like, oh, if it's on the 10th, but it actually is on the 11th at 12:50, whatever. So we miss our flight by a whole day, and she just goes into, because she got emotional for doing something wrong. But you are not your emotions. But she went into, I'm an idiot, something is wrong with my brain, and just kind of got really emotional about it. And it's fine to feel your emotions, but what we often do is we assign who we are to what we're feeling, what we're experiencing. And that's what the Course says. You are forever innocent. Love, your essence is always godly and holy. Okay, but you can experience all of these things. You might do things in which you are not being holy in the moment, or you have forgotten who you are. So you do something out of that character, but that isn't you either. And that's why the Course says it's important for us to be reminded constantly of who is it that we are. What is our calling? What is our function actually? Because we could get caught up in the money. We can get caught up in the dramas of the material world, the dramas of relationships. But that isn't who we are. And to look beyond all these things is the practice of recognizing our true essence, which is the water. We are not the stone. We are not the ripples. Right? And so just what a great story that ChatGPT just put out there. And I'm like, whoa, okay. I am a believer of AI now. I think AI is really cool. I think it answers. I think now, see, with AI, people are afraid of whatever it is that they're afraid of because of the fear. But I think it's really cool because what it now does, it isn't making everything generic out there. It makes you have to ask the right questions. Right? Because who's actually going to write a Zen story that relates to A Course in Miracles? Right? When you ask the right questions, AI goes out and seeks all the information and puts it together for you. It helps us gather information better. And then there's actually a button, okay? One of the most asked questions in AI, it comes up. It's, what is the meaning of life? And even the AI talks about, it's about giving love and sharing and contributing to humanity. Like, AI knows that. Everyone knows that. How come it is that we're consciously blocking that out every day and forgetting that our purpose and the meaning of life is to fulfill our function, which is to be a contribution to the whole. And we forget that. And then we isolate our minds and we judge and we attack other people, and we find ourselves caught up in just drama after drama, right? This drama addiction that we have. So yeah, kudos ChatGPT. You got my business. You got my belief. Yeah. So what are you guys hearing? Anybody want to share anything? Thank you all for being here. You guys are like troopers. You guys are my ACIM tribe.
Alex, I'm so glad you postponed this. I wouldn't have been able to make it at 10, so I'm so grateful.
Yay.
Also, I've been thinking about ChatGPT, and I really will start looking at it now. Thank you. That's great. I love the story.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's genius. Go ahead, Antoine.
So you surprised me with looking at my mom as being a spiritual being herself as well,
mm-hmm.
and having her own needs or having other roles in her life other than motherhood. And this, so I'm like, okay, wow. Now that I think about it, my whole life she's been there for me. She was nurturing. She provided. She gave. Now I'm older, and if I was to look at her as a separate spiritual being with her own needs, I'm struggling with, oh wow, is it my time to now give back? What is it? What does it all mean? Because she's always been there as the compass, right? The guy, the governance, and she's always the strong figure in our lives and things like that. So I don't know if you have anything to share or any advice on how to, when you look at a mother figure as a separate entity,
mm-hmm.
that reveals a whole new world, and I'd love to hear more about it.
Yeah, so it actually frees her when you're able to free that thought and your expectations. So I'll give a really quick example. I remember specifically there was a moment in time that before this moment, constantly she paid for everything. If we went out to eat, it was almost like she will pick up the check and she will do this. And then there was a moment that it came that I was like, nope, I'm picking it up. And then from that moment, I pick it up, and it opened up a new space of trust and relationship with us. It's like, oh, he's not just a little kid anymore. Just that's one little thing. There are a lot more things. Like, there are still some things that when we get together, like if I'm there, it's kind of like, we still do the motherly son thing, which is like she makes breakfast and it's the favorite thing that I love to eat when I grew up, and like she gets excited of feeding me that, and I'm like, okay, great. We'll keep that going. But there will, and then there's times that we can start talking about deeper stuff. How was her relationship with my dad? Like, how did that all go down, right? Because growing up, we had an image. We made up a story. I made up a story that something that my dad did that hurt my mom, and then she left and then came to the States, and then, and then I just have one-sided story my whole life. And then to actually listen to her about how he courted her and how, the relationship was. And I'm like, okay, now I get to do some other forgiveness work, because we opened up a new possibility that it's now my mom and myself can have a different conversation. Than the one that we've always held on to, like, this is your little kid, this is the son, this is the mother, these are the conversations they have. It's not like, now we can grow into like adults having these conversations. I think naturally we move into that, but especially on Mother's Day, we get to honor that transition. I think, that there is an honoring of, this is not just my mom that, that I've thought of growing up. She's always been there and showed up for me. Can I show up for her now? What is it that she needs, right? Because as a child that's being nurtured, we're not really thinking about what our parents need. We're just thinking about how, you know, we almost start to have this expectation of ma, orange juice, ma, sandwich, you know, type of thinking, you know. But we get to, you know, today we get to honor this transition, this new possibility in this moment. What does it look like? You know, if I step out of it and I release her, this character that she plays for me, and then so she can release it of the same relationship, and now your relationship, there's a new spiritual, you know, possibility that can happen, you know, when, you know, whether it's just a phone call. Like, I'm only going to be able to see my mom on Zoom today, you know, or on a video call today when I call her, but I am going to fly her out to Vegas. And you know, last week's call, really, when I think Liba, or she mentioned something about her dad, and now I'm like, okay, well, what is it that what am I delaying, right? Like, what is it that I'm delaying? Like, I'm too busy. You know, what do I got going on that's too busy than to spend some time with my mom, right? It should not be 6 months since I last seen her. So I'm going to make more of an effort doing that. And today it's just an honoring of her, and then of all of your moms, of all moms out there, and all moms that have come before. Right? So it's really like an honoring of women today. Yeah. So, you know, have fun, explore it, have fun with your mom, and, you know, let go of any grievances, let go of any possible pains that you might have held on to, and forgive yourself first for holding on to it for so long, and then forgive her. You don't even need to say it. If you forgive in your mind, see, the thing the Course teaches is that all minds are joined. There's only one mind. So as you forgive, it happens too. It's just going to show up in her mind. You know, just one quick other thing. Yesterday, I was thinking about that. See, sometimes my wife will give me this attitude and talk to me like I'm like a child or something. You know, if I drop like a you know, I only got one white shirt here. We're going to her family's thing, and I'm like, I need to get some hash browns or something, and I drop it on my shirt. You know, of course, because I'm driving and I gotta eat it. I can't wait. And I drop it on my shirt. It didn't get anywhere, but she's like, "Are you serious? Like, you only got one shirt. Are you serious?" I'm like, "Who are you talking to right now?" That's my line. Whenever she gets like that, I'm like, "Who are you talking to? Like, who the hell are you talking to right now?" And that's just like my line. And that's like the only fight we ever get into. It's just like the same thing over and over again. And then I stopped, and then she stopped. And in my mind, I'm just like, okay, you want to be happy, you want to be peaceful, or you want to be right now. And I just had to keep saying it because I wanted to be right. I'm like, every single time she does this, every time. The only reason we fight is because she starts it. Why does she got to do this? And it just keeps going. And I just got to keep interrupting with, do I want to be happy or I want to be right about this? Just kept going and going. And then finally I was like, all right, whatever. Like, what am I being right about? And then she goes, I'm sorry about that. You know, I'm sorry about the way. And it's just like all of a sudden it was like a laughing thing. So like, as I'm in this forgiveness mode, something just shifts between us, right? Like in that space. If I'm in the combative and that you're wrong and arguing, all that does is join the mind into who's the bad guy. And this is how all fights go down. It's finding the bad guy. Who's the bad guy here? Like, what does that even get you? Right? It doesn't get you anything to find the bad guy. You get to be right about something, but you lose peace and you lose happiness. It's not worth it. So all minds are joined. And so we can do the forgiveness work today. And if we feel called to, we express it, you know, verbally or physically or whatever. And, you know, we can honor women today in general. All the moms, to be moms, will be moms someday. Everybody. All right, go ahead, Jess.
Hey, Alex. First, I wanted to thank Eric's wife. I'm sorry, I don't know what her name is, but I wanted for her to thank you, Ellie, for mentioning that. I lost my mom 7 years ago, and I don't have any children of my own. And but I have a sister who has two daughters and a nephew, so I live vicariously through them. And most years we have, they do something and we get together and they always invite me, to include me and everything, but it didn't work out this way. And I'm going through my shit anyway, so I have my camera off. And I just, and so for today, I almost didn't jump on this call because I had a feeling it was going to be about moms and stuff and everything. And I'm kind of like isolating. I'm in the isolation mode, but I am grateful that I did jump on here and listen to everything that everybody is saying. Just wanted to wish everybody here a happy Mother's Day, and to, like I said, all the moms that are gonna be moms and the ones that have moms, and just be grateful wherever you are right now with your mom or wherever you're gonna happen. Just enjoy every second of it. I'm so glad to hear that you're taking time for your mom now. You have no idea. No matter how old you are, you're never you're never ready to lose your mom and to not have her there the way you imagined her. So just savor this moment, enjoy every second that you have with them, no matter how annoying they may be, because when they're not there, your life changes forever.
Yeah.
And that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. It's just so funny, like, for all of us, when we are in our shit about something, we literally will isolate never makes anything better. It's like, I don't want to hear this about the mom thing, but that is exactly what you need to hear. What you're uncomfortable with is exactly what you need to hear. When you don't want something, it's like, it's gotta, the resistance keeps it in place. Right. So I gotta put myself in the uncomfortable place so that I may break through and see it as neutral. And now I may have a new possibility. So, I think today is just, it's a day of reverence, really. And even though it is this Hallmark type of day, holiday, but it's, if we see the good side of it, we see that it's an honoring, that it's a reminder for us. Because, some people just take this whole mom thing for granted. And actually, we take most things in life for granted until it's gone. So it's a great reminder today. Yeah.
I'm gonna share something quick, Alex.
Yeah.
Hi.
Please.
I'm driving. I'm with my mom right now in the car, but and she's not understanding anything that we're talking. But yes, so I'm on my way to this, because yes, I do have my mother, my biological mother, here with me, and she's 75 now, and like Antoine was saying, that it is, when you start giving back, and that was just the life put us that way, that not like Alex, that I was paying for everything, but I guess I was paying for everything when, the roles start getting, backwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
She support all of us, my brothers and I, for the longest time that she could in her capacity. And then now this is the time to give back to her, and then, to keep a beautiful life that she shared with, traveling all over the place. Have two brothers, one in California, one in Canada. And she gets to travel a lot because see the other kids and everything, right? But what I was saying about other mothers is, I have a lot of other mothers, as well as my mother archetype makes other women to see me in that space, and they come to me and ask for suggestions or advice. Nothing that I can do much about that, but then it's an honor. And I have mothers like that to me in my life as well. So right now I'm on my way to visit one that she was very, very, very connected with me when I was in the hospital with my son on my 19th week, when I had to be in the hospital for 8 weeks for him to be born prematurely in or lose him, because last night I was with my daughter godmother, who is like another mother for her, and she reminded me that the type of miracle that I lived with my son in that time, because I had lost a daughter before my daughter, and then I had my daughter, and then I have my son, but then that was very Alex knows the story, some of you know the story, but the long story short, she reminded me the miracle of, to become a mother. And it doesn't matter if it's biological or no, it happens in different ways. So this weekend is being a reminder everywhere, because it was another lady who reminded too that she was in the space of holding a space for adopting a child, and it took her a couple of years, specifically like 46 years, to adopt one. And she has seen that, she had a vision of that daughter at 17. I'm going to turn my camera actually for a second, because I'm in the gate right now that I'm getting here. Can you see me?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So she is this beautiful lady. She's 80. She's gonna be 79 this year. She had when the COVID hit the first time, she had gone through cancer, and a lot of these easy moments in her life, and she got a stroke, and then she paralyzed half of the body. But this is a woman that I kept coming, and I kept visiting, and I kept like having connection with her. As you say always, Alex, the relationship for me, like the number one. And it's Mother's Day, it's my daughter's birthday today, but I make the time to come and show up for her, because she showed up for me for 8 weeks in the hospital when I was in those moments, to remind me the miracles, right? So yeah, that's what I wanted to share, the story of it.
Yeah,
so,
thank you.
Thank you.
The Course actually refers to mothers a good amount, right? Because it's always a representation of the mother's love, the forgiveness and compassion, which mothers have to go through. Like a mother's love for their child. This morning I was watching, I have all these animal reels that pop up on my Facebook and Instagram. Like that's just kind of what I always have. It's either basketball or it's animal stuff. So there was a video that showed only a mother's love for their child can do this. And it was a small gazelle running across a river. And all of a sudden you see this alligator coming, a crocodile coming super fast. The mother runs as fast as she can across the river and stays still in between the crocodile and the child. And then the crocodile eats the mother. So like, it's just, it's the mother's love of just getting in the way. Like even animals recognize this, right? So our whole world is always a reflection of the mother's love of the child. And so there's a couple quotes that I pulled up from A Course in Miracles that I want to share, that represents the mother's love. So the Course has a quote that says, "A mother's love is like a beacon, burning bright with flames of unconditional love, guidance, and support. She is a symbol of strength and grace, and her light shines bright for all to see." That's the mother right there. See, can we release our image and our relationship, our specialness in our minds about our mothers to that, which is the bright light that shines for all the world to remember, which is the grace and the unconditional love and the support and the guidance that a mother gives? Can we remind our mothers and all the women out there that this is who they are? But we have to release it first. Like my mother is not just somebody that shows up for me, that shows up and makes me food and whatever else that we have of stories, right? And there's a couple other quotes that I pulled up, and let's see if this lands at all, because the Course really it's an entire thing about love, and the closest thing that we can understand about love is a mother's love. Right? So love is the way I walk in gratitude. As a mother, expressing gratitude for your children and the opportunity to guide and support them is a powerful way to cultivate a loving relationship. And then the next one is the holiest of all the spots on earth is where an ancient hatred has become a present love. As a mother, you have the power to transform any past hurts or resentments into a present moment of love and forgiveness with your child. So this is kind of speaking to the mother now, because the mother is remembering who she is as this bright light that shines in the world. Okay, and then the last quote is, the presence of fear is a sure sign that you're trusting in your own strength. So, as a mother, it can be tempting to try to control or protect your child from harm, but ultimately trusting in a higher power and letting go of fear is the most empowering and loving choice that you can make. So these are just the course kind of speaking to the mothers, but as we read it, it's a love that we can also share and understand from the other perspective, because we are all child of a mother. And honoring that today is probably the greatest gift we can give to ourselves, to our mothers, and to the contribution of the entire planet. So that's how impactful today is. If you're holding on to any grievances or any sorrows or any self-pities today, it's an opportunity to let it go, because that in itself right there contributes to the healing of the planet. And so just as money can play a great role, so is our relationship and our image of mothers in this world. And the earth is a mother to us all. So we can also think, as grand as we want about just relationships in general, to all unconditional loving things. So yeah, that is the Mother's Day Course in Miracles today. I hope that it's been valuable. I know for me it's been such a, I did not know I was going to share all this. I had kind of some notes. These types of days are really the only days I actually do some sort of research and look for specific things to talk about. Usually I kind of just wing it. And personally, recently I've been getting a lot of messages that I need to become more prepared in what I'm doing, to take what I'm doing to the next level. Like, I'm a very good winging person. I always believe if I can just get the first word out, God and the Spirit will take care of the rest. And, I've been receiving lots of messages recently that I get to be more prepared. So if you guys start to see, these calls and stuff taking on to the next level, I am declaring it out loud right now to all of you guys. We will take everything to the next level together. All right. Any other thoughts? What do you guys committed to doing today? I'm gonna call my mom after this. That's what I'll do.
I'll jump in, Alex. I think I picked up on something you said, which is that my mother, as a person herself, is not perfect, and she might have her own fears and whatever. And for the person who I am today, to be able to recognize paradigms and people's perceptions and faults and so forth, I feel like I owe it to her as I'm talking to her and renewing bonds or creating new bonds to help her in those spaces as well, where her imperfections could be affecting her paradigms. And maybe as a son, I'll be able to help her say, hey, what? By the way, this thing you're talking about, maybe there's a little bit of fear in here, or there's a little bit of that in there, and help her grow as well as a person, right? So just want to thank you for making me realize that.
Yeah. So just a caveat to that is, if we call out somebody's fear, it usually produces the opposite result as what we want it to. Like, our intention perhaps, we call out somebody's fear. It actually does not help it. It usually creates a defense around it. So, the Course says the first thing to do is in your own mind, recognize it for yourself that the fear thoughts itself are not real. So it actually, if they are not real, they produce no real repercussions, right? So whatever fear results, thoughts or thinking that I think she's having, it must be because I think she's producing something that I don't love, or I don't think, or I think can do better in. So I have to fix my own mind thinking that there is something that is even wrong, right? So this is what the Course actually, this is to take it to the next level, because what we do is we study the Course and we hear these things and we actually use it as a weapon. Even though we might not think we're using it as a weapon, we weaponize it to kind of judge somebody and say, hey, you're doing something wrong. Oh, maybe this, it's just fear thoughts, right? Because that doesn't, if somebody is like in fear and you say, oh, those are just fear thoughts, it doesn't work. It's kind of like when you're waking a child up, you don't just, from a nightmare. If a child is having a nightmare, you don't just say, no, those are not monsters, because then the child's like, well, I was still scared. I felt emotional about it. But if you show that, look, what you thought was a monster or a ghost was a shadow from this curtain, whatever, when you opened your eyes at night in the darkness, when the light comes on, there's really no monster there. Now they can fully believe into it. So you have to be the demonstration of why that fear does need to be in place in the first place. Like, it's not just about calling it out. It's that we get to be teachers. We get to be teachers and living it in our own lives. So what that means, and Marlene will get to you in a second, is when someone participates in fear thoughts, and they create scarcity amongst their own thinking and the results in their life, rather than calling it out, we just demonstrate that it could be different. We demonstrate it through our own lives that it could be different, that it does not need to be this way, right? So that is a thinking that just the caution of the next step of a teacher of God, of stepping into this remembering, is to remember that their fears are legitimate. They feel it, they experience it, it's real for them, but I just won't participate in it. If I call it out, I am participating in it. So we get to be this unconditional, loving, infinite patience, with, hey, I'm a space for you to step into something new. And in order to do that, I must let go of any past thoughts I had about my mother, about that she always is scared this way. For another quick example, my mom is always afraid of not having money. I'm like, it's always been fine. Like, my sister and I make plenty of money for you to do whatever you want, and she still continues to have this like fear around not having enough money. Now I can call it out, or I just let her continue to, you will always have enough money. We will demonstrate it. And eventually she may get to a point where she's just like, oh, this whole thing was just my own drama playing out. She gets to come to the awakening herself, but we get to be the motherly energy, which is unconditional love, support, patience, guidance. And then can we transition that motherly energy that is in this world, that is available to us, so that we can do that for others as well? Can we provide this level of patience to our kids, to our friends, to our coworkers, wherever we apply that relationship to? So there's just, it all comes back down to us and how we behave. It's never about the other person. So great question, because I fall to that all the time too. Me and my wife, I'm like, it's just it's nonsense. All right. This is, you made belief of it. And that does not help the situation. We just get into like a whole thing. And I'm like, why did I even say that? All right, go ahead, Marlene. And we'll get back to you. But Marlene's been patiently waiting. She's expressing the motherly patience here.
Thank you, Alex. Not just wanted to share actually something I shared a while ago on social media, and it said, a physician once said, the best medicine for humans is love. Someone asked, what if it doesn't work? He smiled and said, increase the dose. So, back then I said, and I thought that's the reason why God created mothers, because as the, ultimate physician, he wanted to be present to everyone. So, and I also know that in the Bible says somewhere, I do not remember where it is, but it says that even if a mother rejects her child, God is there for us. Like even then, which is obviously, the unthinkable, right? And then without making judgment or, making anyone wrong, but I also remember how one time Mother Teresa, which he was a ultimate pro-life person, right? Said that right now it's the woman's, how to say that, womb?
Yeah.
It's actually the most dangerous place for a child to be. So I guess it's just, today is a very, how can I say, like a very special day, of course, because we do recognize and honor all the people who have welcomed life and who has done their best. Because now as a mother, I know I will make mistakes no matter what, no matter how hard I try, because we have flaws. I mean, we are human beings trying our best for our children. So I just, from the bottom of my heart, just wish you all, whether a mother or not, or trying to be, or planning to be, just honoring that, the fact that you welcome life in your own life, and all the disturbance and messy situations that will create. Because trust me, when you try to have dinner, for example, with two little ones, it's tough for me. It's still tough, but you have to embrace everything, not just the little, picture perfect moments, but everything that comes with it. So I don't know. I guess that's all I wanted to say, and of course have my own mom in my heart today. So thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing. And a couple of the things that you mentioned is that the world might be hard right now or whatever, and that when you have dinner with two that are just running around being messy, like, we can shift our conflict around those things. This is about the forgiveness of a story that I have around something, that when two kids are running around while we're having dinner, it equals frustration, because really it's this control, right? That's what I read earlier, is this level of control that we think we have. And what we can do is access patience and compassion and gratitude in the moment, and it turns that energy of frustration, and that this is a conflict, that the kids are running around, and then all of a sudden, knowing that all minds are joined, that as I calm myself, that the kids will calm, right? And it's going to really require you to test yourself to that level of patience, right? The more rowdy and the more louder you get, the more crazy your kids also end up getting. It's like my, and I see it all the time. I see it's just like what we project out there, it just shows up. It's like, I see a mom super frustrated with her kids and just like yelling and stopping and slapping them, whatever. And then the kids just get crazier, and then they yell, and then they cry, and then they just like throw a fit. And then I'm here with my brother-in-law, and they're just like super patient. They're like, you can't expect a 2-year-old to sit at a table for all this time. and the kids are just like completely quiet, like doing their own things, like not making a mess, not being loud, listening to everything that the mom and dad says. I'm like, look, calm begets more calm, chaos begets more chaos, you know, and that's just the way that the world works. But see, for us, we've got it backwards. We think that the chaos is causing us to have chaos, but really it's the checking in of our own peace of mind, you know. And like I said earlier, today is about the reverence and the honoring of the motherly, the maternal energy that is the unconditional love, the guidance, the compassion that exists in this world that we forget every day, that we forget to access. Like even us as men can access and remember the motherly the energy that we can access and show it to others as well. So, you know, today, like the remembering of that really is a remembering of it in ourselves, whether we're men or women. You know, there's a motherly energy that we can all tap into. And then being able to like give that over to my mom and honoring to her, like, wow, how amazing you are to have that. Even though, you know, some people might grow up thinking that their mother just really did not like listen, was mean, was neglectful, and all these things. Today is a day that we can forgive the wrong that we thought was put onto us by saying, you know, you're not just my mother. You're a being on this planet that has other functions and is doing your best to navigate through this world with love and grace and kindness. But, you know, some hardship, you know, some stuff showed up that had you, you know, maybe show up a certain way. But I forgive all of it because you weren't intentionally doing something wrong to me. Like everybody is doing their best. And it kind of goes back to the story I read earlier of, you know, our actions does not define who we are. You know, there's a thing that's out there. It's like your actions define who you are. Well, there's a perception of who you are, but who we always are, and all of us, is that we are innocent child of God. That is as loving as, you know, as love can be. And we just simply forgotten. We let our emotions dictate. We let our thoughts dictate. And we think we become those things when all of us are literally just witnessers of those things happening. We are the water. We are not the stone that hits the water. We are not the ripple created from the stone hitting the water, but we are the essence of the water, which will always be what it is no matter what happens. Right? No matter if a storm comes, no matter anything happens, perception will look like, you know, it's got a lot of waves, or, you know, the water is really muddy, or all of that. But the essence of the water itself, which is you, will never really change. So may we all, you know, today from this call, as brief of a time as you've been on here or not, recognize the essence of who we are, and even ask the questions of, you know, who am I as this motherly love? Right. And then from that space, honoring our mothers and freeing them of this, of any character or any roles that we have in our mind about who they are, so that new opportunities can show up today. New possibilities can show up. Right. So, hey, welcome, Isabel. Welcome, Renee and Yvette. Welcome, welcome. Happy Mother's Day. So what else? Who else wants to share something? I have to plug my computer in 1 sec. Cool. Let's see. Recapping a little bit then.
I just wanted to say something. Oh, before you recap.
Yes, no, go for it, please.
No, I just wanted to comment on your when you spoke about mothers and the children, they pick up on our energy no matter how we manifest it. So yeah, it's so true. We need to be calm to pass that on to them. No matter what we say, no matter what we do, they just pick up on that energy. So that is so true.
Yeah. You know, and like we pass that on, and then it gets passed back and forth. You know, and one of the man, where was I reading this? But basically it said, you know, I always want to give credit, but I just read so much stuff that I don't remember where things come from. But in my research and my reading and my mystical seeking, wait, what was I going to say? Oh, every one of us, really, our true desire, okay, in all this stuff in the world, is really to be seen as who we really are, beyond our actions, beyond our words, because we all say things that we don't mean. We all have done something that, you know, I'm like, oh my God, like how stupid was I? How young and foolish was I? But people hold like, so the other day, last week, somebody was on Instagram watching me talk about this, but her image of me was this angry young teenager, right? Getting into fights and, you know, stuff like that and being drunk all the time. But that, because she held me in that space, she can't see what's possible in this moment. The transition that has been made, right? And so it was, you know, it was good catching up with her. We talked afterwards, and you know, but that's the same exact thing with our mothers. Like, can we let go of the past, and that way we release the future so that we can be here in this moment with new possibility, new moments, right? Really see and to see, you know, somebody for who they really are is to look not with our physical eyes and using our brains. It's really to see with our spiritual eyes, which means we hold that space of the perfect being that you are, no matter what you do and what you say. Right? So holding that vision, seeing somebody truly, that's the, you know, I went down kind of a whole rabbit hole once I saw people just truly want to be seen. So yeah, go ahead, Antoine.
I just wanted to make a comment about gifts. I remember sitting in church a long time ago once, and the pastor was like, some people are, you know, where do you get your faith from, for instance? And some people are lucky if you grow up in a household where your parents have faith, they go to church, then you receive that gift from your parents that way. You know, it could be how to love, how to have faith, how to see things in life. But essentially, as I'm seeing and as I'm hearing most of what you're saying on this call, you know, we all have a subconscious mind, and I have this emotional mind where everything is accumulated as a gift, whether it's a negative one or a positive one. And I say even the negative ones are gifts because they are designed to make us strong in some respects. And, you know, I may say, okay, this person was really terrible at me and, you know, did all these things. But then because I hated what they were doing, I had to react to that and become maybe a better version of that situation. In any case, the point being that whether still alive or not, on Mother's Day, I feel that I've received a lot of gifts from her. And I'm very thankful for all those gifts, because in other situations, some people didn't get to grow up with their mom, or whatever the situations are, they didn't receive certain gifts. And so I just feel in this present moment, I'm recognizing the gifts that I've received, and that I want to recognize and maybe even pass down and so forth. But just want to throw the word gift out there, because even those, you know, mother could have came and passed on, but those gifts remain with you. They don't go away. Your faith doesn't go away. How you love somebody doesn't go away. So I just wanted to highlight that point.
Yeah, and the Course actually says, in order for you to keep this gift, see your recognition of this gift, in order for you to keep it, you must give it away and you must share it. See, the more you extend this awareness of this gift that you've received, the more you give it to other people. That is the only way to keep it. When you try to keep it for yourself, that is when the gift, the essence of that gift becomes lost to you, because now it becomes, it's mine. When the gift itself was a gift because of the sharing. And then we lose sight of it and we lose it, like what the gift is. So the gift itself, and you said it, is I want to pass it on. I want to share it and I want to give it. And that is our journey as human beings, is we experience things, we learn from it, and then it's the natural course to become a teacher and to teach it to somebody. You know, that's why you see the wealthy, they've gotten to a point where they're just in teaching mode now, you know, because they're like, hell do I do with all this wealth besides like teaching how to do it? Right. And that's why the natural course is you go and you do the struggle, you learn from a mentor, you do it better, you do it faster, and then you teach it to the next generation, you teach it to the next group of people, because we all have access and reach to certain people that others won't. Right? Like I've always said, Grant Cardone can say one thing and people just won't hear it, because all they hear and see is, oh, show me another jet, show me another plane, show me another car, show me another cash video, right? That's all they see, no matter how good of an information Grant could possibly give, but that's what they see. So then his message can't reach those people. Then somebody else that can take the same message that Grant has and touch those people, right? And that person is you. Every one of us have students that are ready and waiting. You know, they say the teacher shows up when the student is ready, but also the students show up when the teacher is ready. And it's the same thing. Just, you know, we're all in this dance around this fire. And this fire is the remembering of who we are, remembering of the essence of our soul. And, you know, whether it comes from the faith in church, whether it comes from God, whether it comes from your relationship with your mother or people, right? Like it's all the same remembering that we're coming down to, which is the fire, which is the essence of who it is that we are. And, you know, if every single day, just for moments, I can remember that I'm just dancing around this fire, then that helps me remember, right? See, that image helps me remember that, hey, no matter what it is that we're doing, we're just dancing around this fire together. But if we forget that this is what we're remembering, we get caught up in all the other dramas, all the other dreams and illusions of this world that will tempt you to do things that are outside of yourself. You know, for money, right? We react with anger because we forget that we're dancing around this fire. Somehow we thought that anger and reacting this way and getting other people to be afraid or whatever, or submissive, is what it is that we want, but we're not. That isn't it. So then can we come back? And you can always come back. There is never a point where you go too far down the rabbit hole that you can't just turn back around and be like, oh, there's the fire, and let's go dance around it. So that's the image that's always in my mind. And, you know, and I'm very drawn to fires in general. That's why I love, you know, fire pits and just fires, playing the guitar, singing around the fire. It's just, you know, it reminds me of it. So, yeah, now that fire is also the representation of the motherly love, of this love that we are all learning to understand. Like, can we deepen our capacity to love and to emphasize and to be empathetic and also empathy. Okay, empathy is not, this is actually something the course also mentions, which is, you know, empathy. Most people have empathy as like joining in suffering with, right? Like somebody is suffering and I'm like, oh God, I'm so empathetic. I feel their energy and I'm suffering with them, right? But empathy is not to join in the suffering with. It's to become, it's to open your spiritual eyes, is to be able to see and deepen your capacity to be compassionate, but not to join in on the suffering with. So empathy, you know, a lot of people like blame oh, I'm empathetic, so I can't be around these things. I'm an empath, like I'm too sensitive to energies. Like, no. What do you do with that is what's important. You know, everybody is capable of sensing and feeling energies, and that's what the intuitions are and all of that. But what do we do with it? Do we heal it? Like, how do we heal these energies? Right? Cool. So what else? We got a couple more minutes here. And yeah, anybody else want to share anything? That's well said. Thanks. Marion Williamson also said something. I think it was actually on TV. Oh, go ahead. Who wanted to say something? Because I'll shut up. Hi, finally. Hello.
This is Elise. I just want to say, yeah, I really like what you just said. You know, it's like Jesus. We're here to do what he has done. And it's not about worshiping him, but it's really to raise our consciousness, expand our consciousness to that space where he only sees perfection and is see beyond the appearances, the circumstances in front of us. And this is really not easy to do as, you know, being a human being. We're here, we're in, you know, in this whole, sometimes just it's not easy to see beyond that. But every day when we do our practice, our spiritual muscles, it comes in a time that we can really say, oh, I'm seeing, even though this person has a diagnosis, say, oh, the doctor said they only have a few weeks to live, but it's to see beyond that, see that they are perfect in spirit. And see the situation, whatever is in front of me, in front of us, in front of me, that's not likely, but see that, hey, in spirits, everything is perfect, whole, and complete. And Jesus was able to see that. So when he saw the cripple, you know, laying on the street, he didn't see the cripple. He said, get up and walk. Because what he see is that perfection, that no, you are not that. You're not that. You're something greater. You're something better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if we each one do our own spiritual practice every day, we can build up our spiritual muscles and transcend whatever circumstances and be able to shift in that moment for ourselves and for another human being. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to share. It's not easy, but we're practicing, right?
It's not. And also,
yeah.
Thank you for sharing. I've seen you on this call multiple times, and I just get to look at your picture that you came on video today and you shared. So thank you for, now I get to know you a little bit better.
Well, thank you. And this is what I do. I do this daily spiritual, it's called spiritual mind treatment. I do it every morning for people, whoever wants to get on the call with me at 9 a.m. East Central Time. It's just to help holding that space for people like what you're doing. You know, we all go through different things with people in our lives, which is the hardest part in the people in our lives. I love that you're creating that space for people. And each are doing our own work, whatever that we're called to. So I really appreciate what you do.
Yeah, definitely send me the info to your call. I want to join and check it out too.
Yeah, we just, you know, not too many people. We just me. I read 2 books, and spiritual mind treatment is actually from Dr. Ernest Holmes. It's Marion Williamson. You know, it's a way of life. It's called The Science of Mind, and it's treating. You know how like we say, oh, I'm gonna go treat myself to an ice cream, or I'm gonna treat myself to a nice spa. Let's go and treat our mind for something good, and to remember the truth of who we are. And that way, you know, during the day, when we face adversities, we can just say, hey, let me shift right now. I don't have to be pulled in or triggered, you know, by whatever is in front of me. I can I can go beyond that, see beyond it. So
Yeah,
thank you.
awesome. That is beautiful. You know, that's what I read in the beginning. It's that our peace, our inner peace, and our yeah, post a link if you can. That'd be cool. I'll follow you
Okay.
and come check you out.
All right.
You know,
Cool.
and
Thank you.
and the inner peace and the happiness comes from our ability to see beyond the world that we live in today. You know, beyond the perception and the illusions of everything we think is actually happening to us. We think things are happening to us, right? And you mentioned the way that Jesus saw everything as perfection, as already is, because his mind has transcended beyond all that he sees as limitations of our bodies. And so even when he's being crucified, he was asking for the forgiveness. He was beyond the pain of the body, right? It's the forgiveness of the brothers that just don't know what they're doing right now, that they don't see yet. And he's praying for them to see, to be able to see. And so, you know, when people ask oftentimes, because I wear a cross and they're like, oh, you Christian, you Catholic, you know, and I'm just like, yeah, you know, like, but really it's, for me personally, it's a representation of our connection to the perfection, or our connection to God. Like for me, it's just reminding me, hey, like, remember your connection to God. Your only problem ever is that you forgot about that connection, that you've decided that I will choose how I will look at this scenario or this relationship or something that happens. Like, oh, I think it's terrible for me. Oh, I think this person is bad. I think they need to be punished. All of those things comes from our own personal judgments, and the conflict that happens inside us is because we have forgotten the connection to our Father, which, you know, is the infinite intelligence knows what to do, that God has designed everything perfectly already, that even though it looks like there is a shooting, or, you know, the president is doing this, or our economy is doing this, they're printing too many dollars, who knows what they're all for, you know, and we let them all go and we give it over. And so we don't carry on that burden ourselves, so that we may operate in peace. And so we can bring peace to all the relationships that we are in, you know, in all the different situations. So again, today is taking all of that and bringing it into recognizing that it is a maternal and motherly energy that is surrounding us. And, you know, God's love is mostly recognized through a motherly love, right? So can we see that today and extend our gratitude to our mothers and to all mothers out there, to all women in general, for holding that space and holding that vision for life. And so thank you all. Thank you to the men and the women. For anybody listening to this call today, may it just serve as a reminder for all of us to be in reverence today to that motherly energy. Great. 3 more minutes. Antoine, did you want to say something else?
No.
Okay. And all that is not given to the light is snatched by the darkness. So when we are not constantly training our mind, like Elise said, like the mind training, the spiritual mind training, when we are not constantly doing that, the automation of this world, the drift, let's call it, it grabs us and snatches things into the darkness. And we see ourselves as separate. We see things happening that are, you know, that we judge, because we are not constantly remembering that we're not even capable of judging. And so who are we and what role do we play? That's the only focus we need to have. Every single one of us has a little garden, and that garden is ours only, that we can tend to, and that expression of love from that garden comes from us and nobody else. And everybody has the same piece of same size, same loving garden that you can contribute to the world with. It may look like you're a doctor. It may look like you're a multifamily syndicator. It may look like, you're an accountant. Whatever role that you play, form of a role, you can bring the same loving energy to those spaces and bring the same level of peace of mind.
Okay, Elise, I just wanted to ask you, can you drop that link into our WhatsApp chat? Because if you try to use it right from this chat, it wants to leave this meeting and go directly to that Zoom call, because it's a Zoom call.
Okay, so where should I put it?
Are you on our WhatsApp chat?
No, I don't think she
No,
is.
I'm not.
Let me put the invitation in here, I guess.
Send her in there.
Okay.
Yeah, because if it won't let you copy and paste it from this chat. It'll only tell you can leave this chat and you can leave this and go to another Zoom meeting. So.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. If you can give me the WhatsApp group, if you want to add me to the WhatsApp.
Yeah, give me your number. I'll do it right now.
Okay, it's 256-773.
Wait.
Oh,
I forgot that WhatsApp is really weird. And you have to add the phone number first. Hold on.
Oh, you want to write it down? Okay, yeah, 256-773. Okay.
Okay, here we go. Create. No.
And you guys can, whoever wants, prayer sometimes, you're welcome to call me. I'm always open for prayers because as a practitioner, we always praying for ourselves. So when I pray for other people, I need to know the truth for other people. I actually need to know the truth for myself because we are all one.
Uh-huh.
And so you are all welcome to call me. It's 256 773 2392.
Okay, I'm gonna add you to the thing right now. Okay, so then why don't you take us out with a prayer for us and the mothers, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Awesome.
No.
So it's been amazing. Thank you everybody for joining us today, and yeah, I will post this link into our chat too. So,
okay, so
right,
I just invite you all to just relax, close your mind, close your eyes, open your heart and your mind, and just wherever you are. I'm going to speak this in the first person because we are all one. So take a couple deep breaths, be open and receptive. And just know that right here, right now, there is only one power, one presence, one life. And it is God. It is God, or whatever you may call it. It is the creator of my life. So this creator, this God presence is everywhere available. It is right here where I am. I am walking on this spiritual ground, that there cannot be any separation. The fact that I am breathing without having to remember it. And the fact that my heart is beating and I don't have to remember how to breathe or beating my heart. That means there is something greater than I am. It's supporting my life. It is giving this life to me. And I am so grateful for that. I know that there cannot be any separations, even though sometimes I may feel it, or sometimes I may not see it, or sometimes I just forget. But right here, right now, I remember it, I recognize it, and I am giving thanks to it, that this presence and power of God is right here where I am, and I can come back to it every moment. I just have to close my eyes and just take a deep breath and be still. And I can know and feel that presence. in my entire being. So today I give thanks to that presence that is motherly love that is within me, that I can access to that, to see the greater good for others, to see that greater good for myself, and to know that with God, all things are possible, that I can see beyond appearances. I can see beyond the human mistakes and failures or fear or any past stories that no longer serve me. I can just let them go. And I can be open and receptive to that greater I amness, to that which only knows perfection for each person that I come in contact with. So I am grateful that this is a beginning. This moment is a beginning because it is a new thought that I am giving, a new thought that I am creating. I let go and let God, just knowing that the highest good is now manifest for me. And I am grateful for that. So I wish those people who are in my life, who has had show up as a motherly presence for me, I give thanks to them, and I give thanks to me who can be a mother presence for somebody else. So I let go and let God and know that it is already done. And so it is. As we say together, amen.
Amen. Wow.
Amen.
Thank
That
you
was
so much,
beautiful.
Elise. That was
Thank you.
beautiful.
Oh,
Wow,
thank you.
thank
I'm
you
so
so
glad
much,
to serve.
Elise.
Thank you. Well, you guys are welcome to come. So usually, in the morning every day, just 9 a.m. I read. I take a couple of books. We read for a couple of paragraphs, and just people, if they want to comment for something. If they don't, I just go around the circle and ask for whoever what you want me to pray for, and we just join together, support each other.
That is awesome.
Just another time to be present with spirit, and the more we do it, I think the better it is, our day becomes.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you. And I'm always like, this is all I want to do. I just want to do this for 8 hours, 9 hours a day. So great.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you're
Awesome.
holding that space every day at 9 a.m. I will certainly be there. Okay.
Thank you. And I really enjoy this. So thank you so much.
Oh yeah, thank you. And I see you here every call. I'm like, I can't wait till she shares something. And today you blessed us so much. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So have a great Mother's Day, everybody. And I will see you guys when I see you. All right. So have a great
Blessings,
day,
everyone.
everyone.
Blessings, Al. Thank you for your service, brother. Love you.
Love you,
Thank
man.
you.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Amen, everybody.